Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. I am Sean Butler. Didn't even get a chance to say hello to Johnny backstage. He's just joined in the countdown. How you doing, Johnny?
I'm all right. Just literally talk about race against time. Just made it in. I got a tip for anyone out there. Anyone thinking of becoming a landlord, forget it.
Is it horrible? Is it?
Oh my God! Honestly, I don't. Nice family, nothing wrong with them. Just the hassle. Everything's gone wrong. Boiler's gone. Even though I just got a certificate about 3 weeks ago. Yeah. No. Yes.
It's good to see you, mate. It's good to see you.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year to you.
Very ill with COVID, so interrupted my my Spurs enjoyment. And finally, I missed Forest, missed
away.
Everton. I missed Forest away. I had tickets. Missed Everton at home, but I managed to make the comeback for that amazing game down at Brighton.
Yeah. That was the best 20 minutes of losing football I've ever seen.
Oh my God! Yeah,
best 20 minutes of the most irrelevant football. We're 4-0 down, and for some reason, I'm still there. Most of the Tottenham fans have gone. I'm still there going, come on! Ah! That's what I was thinking. We're 4-0 down.
I got to be honest with you. Had Højbjerg's shot that hit the post had gone in,
yeah,
I reckon 4-3. I reckon we would have done it. I really do.
We had enough chances, mate. We had enough chances. And look, I haven't done a stream since. I did one on. No, wait, sorry. I'm thinking of the most recent game. I didn't do a stream yesterday, reflecting on the game against Bournemouth. But there's a lot of sort of similar sort of takeaways, and I do want to speak about some of those players. But also, we've got so much to get through with regards to transfer news. And for what it's worth, guys, I want to say hello to everyone in the chat in just a second. But strap yourselves in, because I've been using the Y Scout tool, and
you're on.
Yeah. I think I have been neglecting it recently because it's transfer window time, and I feel like I might have just found a couple of really interesting left wingers that are not going to break the bank, that are young, up and coming, who have got unbelievable stats, and I want to share them with you. And I won't be able to show you guys the video footage, right? But what I'd encourage you to do, if you are at home and you can have two tabs, if you can multitask. If there's any females watching, that won't be a problem for you lot. But for the males in the room, let's see if you can handle it.
Y Scout got me into a lot of trouble this time last year because I watched Pedro Porro. Okay.
Yeah.
I told everyone, guys, he can't defend. Disaster. This is a disaster waiting to happen. Right. Great as a forward. He could be a winger. But he can't defend. He can't defend.
I think everyone got that one wrong, mate, to be honest. I wouldn't worry about it too much.
I didn't think I got it wrong first game at Leicester, and I nicknamed him the pantomime defender, because there's always a defender behind him. And in fairness, again, it reared its ugly head again against Bournemouth, I've got to be honest.
Look, mate, I think I've got to say this again. Like, I feel like the system we play... Like, you have to give, not you personally, but you have to give some wiggle room to the responsibilities of fullbacks when they're asked and encouraged to be playing in the number 10 role at times. And when you lose the ball, and it might not be their fault, it probably isn't their fault. Someone else has mistouched it. If it's a Richarlison fat foot, or someone else has done something wrong during the game, and then all of a sudden the ball gets transitioned, you know where the gaps are going to be if you're the opposition. I don't know if you can always blame the defenders. Having said that,
listen,
Doggy's defensive work getting back against Bournemouth was some of the best I've ever seen any.
So here's the thing. So this is what I'm saying. They realised it was a fruitless task, so they exposed Pedro on the other side, right? Pedro Porro and Johnson were exposed quite a lot down that side. But listen, you're right. Look, the way they play, inverted, it leaves a lot of space to be exploited down those flanks. You have the ball, so the opposition are going to use that space to their advantage. But going back to Pedro and the Y Scout, for me, sometimes when you look at Y Scout, and you can watch it to your heart's content. You can look at every aspect of it, but it did highlight some of his failings, and it wasn't just at Spurs. We saw him play for Spain against Scotland and get dragged off at half time. when Kieran Tierney tore him to bits. You know, that's a bit embarrassing. But he has improved immeasurably. So, you know, I don't think when you look at Wyscout and you look at the frailties, I don't think that they should be ignored, because I believe that it's there. It's a thing. And with Pedro Porro, it was a thing. It's still a thing.
It's still a thing. 100% it's still a thing. He's not the best defender.
Yeah, but he's nowhere near, you know, he's come on leaps and bounds to
100%.
be a fantastic player for the club.
And I think that's obviously, you know, he's young, right? If you were signing someone who was 32 years old, who'd never shown defensive qualities as a right wing back, and then you're asking him to shoehorn him into an inverted right back role, then maybe you're thinking, can old dogs learn new tricks? But he's 22 or 23 when he joined. So, and like I say, Wyscout is just a tool, but it's a wonderful way to dial up the filters to find what you're looking for statistically in a player, and then you then zone in on him, like his video analysis, and then figure out whether or not he does what it looks like he does, and whether you think he would fit. And I think I might have found a couple of players, guys, that I haven't mentioned before, and that are very interesting. But before we get into any of that, we've got to talk about what's going on with the transfers. Before we get into any of that stuff, I wanted to say a quick hello. And considering there's 300 people in the house already, guys, that's awesome. Welcome, everybody. Please do me a favor, though. Smash the like button. I set a small target of 300 likes. I thought it was pretty generous at the time, but actually it's small now considering. So let's wrap that up to 500. I'm just going to quickly say hello to the members of the channel. I'm saying hello to everybody, but I'm going to speak to the members quickly. Dragusin saying, morning, chat. Hope everyone had a great new year. Happy 2024. Let's start the year right and smash those likes to the Spurs Talk Show. Appreciate you, Drew. I hope you're okay, mate. You're always up early these days over in Kansas, I think it is. Martin Dutchman's in the house. Afternoon. Happy New Year. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Who else we got in the members section over here? Not many. Oh, I'm flying through it. In fact, that's it. All right, then. Well, welcome to everybody else. And let's
if you're not a member
and you want to become a member, the join button's downstairs. Guys, I've got a new cool thing coming out this year. I tried to do a WhatsApp group last year, right? I tried to do a WhatsApp group for all members, but ultimately what happened was someone in that WhatsApp group that was a member, they paid for a month. They then got hold of my number. They weren't then a member anymore. They then sent my number out to a bunch of Levy outers who started texting me saying that I'm this, that, and the other, and I was a horrible human being and stuff. So I'm going to not take that chance anymore and give away my number. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to move to either Telegram or to a what's the other thing?
Morse code.
Yeah, Morse code, exactly. Pigeon signals. One of those other text things that they do in the gaming world. I forget what those channels are called.
Which?
No. One of the messaging apps where you can still be a part of it, but you don't have to show your telephone number. Okay. So we're going to do that. And so if you want to become a member, we've got one right here who's saying hello. Inakoma, what's happening? Inakoma is saying, evening, Sean. Enjoy your shows. Keep it up. Appreciate it. Discord. That's the thing. Appreciate you guys.
Discord, that's right, yeah.
I've got no idea what that is, but we are going to set all that stuff up in the next couple of days.
I'm a member, but don't ask me. I wish I hadn't have been a member, because all I've got is messages from people selling me some crypto.
Right.
Crypto.
What, from being a member of my channel?
No, Discord.
Oh, being a member of Discord. Oh, right. Yeah. 100%.
No, I haven't got any abuse from your channel yet. I'm sure.
No. That'll come today. Don't worry about that. 350 people here, guys. Love all that. Smash the like button. Smash the subscribe if you haven't already. Guys, we're about 30 subscribers away from 21K. So if you haven't subscribed, it's free to do. Would really help the channel out. All right, let's start with... I just want to spend 10 minutes, mate, reflecting on the Bournemouth game because I haven't had a chance to do it yet. I walked away from that game. I was at the game. I know you were too. And I put out a comment on Twitter saying, I think I must be mad because... I walked away from that game never really feeling uncomfortable. I'll be entirely honest, and I know you responded back underneath saying, I wish I'd had your beer goggles on or whatever.
No, I'll just say, can I borrow your eyes?
But borrow my eyes, yeah. So look, I came back and I watched the game back, and I still feel the same. Right, I still feel the same. I think we dominate. I think we had the first 30 minutes. After Pape Sarr went off, it was a measurable difference. Right, we lost our impetus. Bentancur probably isn't fully fit just yet, and he wasn't quite as good as he was when he came on against Aston Villa, or when he started against Aston Villa, whatever it was. But I think that the kind of midfield battle was a little bit lost then for the rest of that first half and for the first 10 minutes of the second half. But my analysis of the game, just briefly, when people say that we were lucky to not concede, we were lucky to not give the ball away, we were lucky, we were a little bit all over the place. The reason why I say that we weren't unlucky is because this system encourages risk. It encourages calculated risk where you move forward, right? You go with it. You throw, you're going to score more goals than them, hopefully, right? We're going to score one more than you. Type of analysis or type of philosophy. But if you give the ball away, you're going to get the ball put over the top. And I don't remember for all of Bournemouth's 25 shots on target, 25 shots on goal, 15 of them were off target, 6 of them were blocked. They only had 4 on target. One of them was the goal from Alex Scott, and the other 3 were little pot shots from 20 yards that piddled their way through to the keeper, and the keeper didn't have to do anything. I never felt that uncomfortable because even though they got the ball put through and Dominic Solanke had his moments, because the defenders did their job, right? Udogie got back and absolutely bodied and pocketed Dominic Solanke out of the game. And that's what it comes down to. At the end of the day, if you're either blocking the shot, you're either giving opportunities that aren't clear shots on goal, or you're defending when the opportunities go the other way. And I never felt like we were going to concede. Even when we did concede in the 78th minute or whatever it was, I felt like that was a run against the run of play. Tell me why I'm wrong, please, Johnny, because I still don't understand why people were concerned.
Well, I would say you're right and you're wrong. I would say the hate for certain players in our squad is palpable. It gets on my nerves. But to be quite truthful with you, I thought as soon as Sarr went off, the drop off was unbelievable. I thought the midfield 3 of Sarr, Gio, and Bentancur in those first minutes was superb.
Yeah.
Really, really good. As soon as Sarr went off and on came Skip, those who know the American football, who watch American football, pass protection for the quarterback, giving the quarterback time to throw the ball, find his players further up the pitch. Basically, the time afforded to both Bentancur and Gio were just cut straight away. They were having no protection because Skip is not up to the job of closing down and giving the protection. He chases the ball, but he doesn't offer anything that Sarr offers. And we lost our way. And I saw a lot of comments saying, Lascelles say was shit in the first half. No, what it is.
Lascelles was excellent.
Yeah, but apparently, if you read my timeline, he was shit in the first half. He was terrible. And I said, no, what it was he takes risks with the forward passes, exactly what you said. Under Conte, there was a fear factor that you must never lose the ball. And it felt like that. We were playing constrained football. Under Angeball, you're encouraged to make those forward passes. There are no repercussions. Even if they go on to score a goal from it, you don't see anyone berating players, when they lose the ball. And that's what Gio did in the first half. He was constantly trying to, break the lines with the passes. And some came back to them. I actually thought that Areola has done a fantastic job with Bournemouth. They were playing some lovely football. They had double the amount of shots than we did, and Solanke had nine attempts. Could you imagine if Richarlison had 9 attempts and hadn't scored? The abuse that he would have been getting. I mean, he was getting abused because he missed a very good chance. He scored one, but he missed a very good chance.
Richie.
Richie. He missed.
I genuinely thought it was Richie's best game for a long time. Despite that miss, which was catastrophic.
Thank you very much.
His hold-up play was sensational. His first touch didn't avoid him for the first time in a while. He's creating a wonderful relationship with Brennan Johnson, which we're going to talk about.
So basically, what I'm saying here is that I thought Areola, Bournemouth.
Irola, isn't it? Is it Irola? Areola's the West Ham keeper.
Irola. Destiny was unbelievable in his defence, in the strength, his upper body strength. And I know he gets a lot of stick, but Emerson Royal is playing. Emerson Royal is playing as a centre half. He had a shot on goal. He had that fantastic pass for Brennan Johnson to set him off to set up the pass for Richie. I don't know how many defensive headers and blocks that he got in. Yet, as usual, after the game, we've won 3-1, and the focus is on Richie was rubbish, Richie is rubbish, Rory is rubbish, got to get rid of them. And, you know, we were lucky.
Scapegoating goes on, mate. You know, a lot of people, like, I personally, I've set my stall out about Richarlison since long before he joined Tottenham Hotspur, right? Yeah. This is not me, you know, because at the moment, you know, he's five goals in 5 games. I still don't think he's a very good footballer. I think he's doing his job better and better. But as a footballer, I don't think he is fit to lace Harry Kane's boots in terms of getting back.
But you're not going to get. Play. Yeah, but listen, who is fit? Who is?
No,
fit
okay. I'm just saying, like, if you had a striker that can come back and link play up, like a Santiago Jimenez, who can drop deep, he's got a lovely soft touch.
You say that, Sean. The football world is littered with Dutch internationals that have come from Holland who are smashing it in the Dutch league and have failed miserably. You know,
yeah, there's a lot of players that have come there and done really well as well, though.
Yeah,
it's not a one-way story.
Being a success there does not guarantee success in our league. It's just a different league. It's a different pace. Listen, all I know is that had Richarlison had 9 chances like Solanke had, he hit the bar. He should have buried that header. You know, I think he fluffed a couple of his lines.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you're playing expansive football, exactly like you said, then, you know, you've got to take the rough with the smooth. Unfortunately, against Brighton, it was some stupid mistakes that cost us, coupled with the defensive errors. You know, it could have been 6 at half time, let's be honest, if it hadn't been for our keeper. I thought it was much better against, in my opinion, strange enough, I think Bournemouth are a better team currently than the Brighton team that we lost to. That's how I felt, how they played their football. I thought they were really impressive.
Bournemouth have moved that. They've transitioned from a team. It's a shame because teams like Burnley probably won't have the opportunity to do it. They don't see the necessity that when you come up, you go from being the best team among like the sort of the big fish in a small pond to then being a bigger fish but in a giant ocean or whatever. And I think that you have to adapt your game to go through the next 3 years cycle of preservation, keep up, stay up, build. You got to change your game a little bit, and Bournemouth have gone through that. Nottingham Forest are trying to go through that. There's a few teams that have done it. Brentford did it. Brighton did it years ago. But in order to kind of transition, you have to go through that process of reorganization and accepting that you're now fighting against a lot tougher, better resourced outfits. And I don't think Burnley have done it very well, but I think Bournemouth have. I think they've got a very ambitious owner, a weird owner, to be honest. He's a strange guy, but he's someone who is relentlessly pursuing ambitious outcomes. And I think he's tweaking that model and made some very astute signings. And I like what Bournemouth are about now. I think that they're going to stay up and they're going to become like a kind of, they'll start to emerge as a mid-table team.
Love their football.
12th, 11th, 10th. And then eventually maybe in 2-3 years time, they could try and push into the top half, you know, and and they play really good football, which is impressive.
I mean, if you look at it, I mean, our transition in 6 months has been quite remarkable. And, you know, for me personally, the only defeat that I've not enjoyed, I mean, that sounds a strange thing to say because no defeat is pleasurable, was the Wolves game where I think he got it completely wrong. I think he got the team wrong. I thought he got the changes wrong. You know, we should have seen out that game. I agree. I just think that when you look at the defeat against Chelsea, we fought. The defeat against West Ham, we didn't deserve it. The defeat against Villa, it could have been so much else, you know, and we never had that feeling last year. And even Brighton, as you know, we were discussing earlier, you know, we were 4-0 down and you and I were still there. We didn't pass because, you know, we just feel that something could always happen with Ange Ball, and it nearly did.
Yeah.
And you know, long may it continue that even in adversity, we are still going to go for it. It's just a breath of fresh air. I feel like I've got my club back after years 100%, and years.
Mate. Do you know what? I'm going to do a couple of super chats, but just to sort of on that point about Ange, I think someone put a really interesting, a really nice video out, poignant video. I think the best word for it is about Ange and the father figure type thing we've got going on now.
Yeah.
And it was summarized in his reaction to what happened with Alejo Veliz.
Yeah.
Right. You can see like a father who wants to protect his boy from someone who's calling them out and being angry. He'll fight for his boys. And then at the same time, he wants to be there and hold, be a shoulder for the guy to cry on, literally, when things are going tough. I've never seen that side of Ange Postecoglou where he was up for a scrap with the Bournemouth coach. Right, I don't know what was going on. I think Danny SpursTalkShow caught a good video because he sits in the Tunnel Club thing and caught a good video of it. But he looked like he wanted to punch the Bournemouth. I think he was like an assistant manager or coach or whatever. And then 10 seconds later, he pivots to go from pure anger to pure sympathy for Alejo Veliz, who's in tears. And to me, that is the sort of guy that I think we've got. A guy who you see the full range of emotions in press conferences. When things are good, he's got a bit of like sense of humor, but he's still quite measured. When things aren't going well, yeah, he's got a cough he needs to sort out. But I think we've just got a wonderful guy there. And the future is so bright right now. We've got to talk about some of the transfer. There's news coming out. I see people in the comments talking about Serge Reguilón. We're going to talk about that. I just want to spend 2 more minutes talking about the game against Bournemouth, Johnny. I want to talk about Brennan Johnson because I think there's a bit of kind of yin and yang out there about him. And I've got my own sort of take on it. I want to hear yours. Before we do, Martin Knightsbridge, big up, Martin. Hope you're well. Can't trust your members on YouTube. Shocking. No, it was one guy. It was just one guy who paid, I think it was like £1 or whatever to become a member, just to get the number, just to stitch me up. Yeah. We got a new member anyway. Nige is here. Big up, Nige. Thank you, mate. Really appreciate. I think you're a returning member, buddy, but I really appreciate you. Thanks for your loyalty.
Return to member.
Very good. Return to member.
Press unknown.
Telephone number unknown, we're going to call it. A user has said, hi, Sean. Just wanted to ask, I hear the Todibo deal is off. Do you think that's down to Nice not wanting to sell this month or the huge fee demanded? I think it's down to Nice not wanting. I think Chelsea we're in for him, and they've sort of given up the goose on that one. Now they've moved in a different direction. Apparently this morning, Man United
surprised he's at Man U in summer.
Yeah, exactly. I think in the summer, I don't know if United will be able to sign him right now, but I think that's probably the way it's going to be. Right, he's going to stay at Nice, try and finish off their Champions League or their title push. Also, he probably doesn't want to disrupt his chances to qualify, stay in the French team for the Euros, and then he'll go to Manchester United in the summer. It is what it is. I really like Todibo, but I'm also very happy with the guy that looks like he's going to come in. We're going to talk about him in a second. I just want to finish off the Bournemouth. Oh, sorry, go on. Sorry, Johnny.
No, I was just going to say, no, I'm ready for. Are we talking about which one? We're talking about Brennan Johnson or Brendan Johnson? Which version?
Brennan Johnson. But for me, a lot of people have twisted on him, right? They're judging him by the valuation. I understand it. I kind of do that a little bit with Richarlison. 50 million quid. You could have gone a different direction. At times, when times are tough in games, I feel like against Brighton, for example, I felt like he went missing. He went hiding. He wasn't interested. Shocking. But he pops up with these magical little, he's got a delicious little low cross on him, and he's starting to kind of gel with Richarlison, and relationships and chemistry is super important. He's got a massive trajectory, but is he for you? Because he's not for everyone. I don't know.
I've got to be honest with you. I've got to be honest with you. I agree. The fee, when we've made, look, Ange wanted him, which is why we paid the fee. This wasn't a Fabio buy. Fabio buys are, as we know, obscure, incredible bargains. I don't agree with some of Ange's subs either. I think he's failing in game management. But going back to Brennan Johnson, he frustrated the hell out of me in the Wolves game. He wasn't tracking back. His tracking back was absolutely terrible. And what I didn't understand, he wouldn't take on one-on-ones going forwards when he was in their third of the pitch. Yet when he was in our third of the pitch, he was trying to take players on. I think he's when I say Brendan Johnson, I think I call him that sometimes when he's too soft.
Yeah.
He needs to have that nasty streak. He's too soft in the challenge. He pulled out a couple of challenges. He goes missing. He goes missing too often. I mean, I saw him tracking back, and we were exposed.
He doesn't track back enough, and when he does, he doesn't do it very well.
Correct.
You know?
And I feel with Brennan Johnson and Porro on that right-hand side, clubs have already seen that's if you're going to try to expose Tottenham, that's the side you want to be doing it on. He has got a great cross. Yes, he's only 22. But for me, I'm sorry, I would have bought Elise all day over him. He's on another level, same age, if not slightly younger.
Just signed a new contract with Palace, though. I don't know if he's going to go anywhere.
Don't worry about that. He's got a release clause in there, right?
Has he?
He's got a release clause in there. Okay. They don't sign new contracts. They're not going to do a Zaha. Everyone's
That makes sense.
Zaha and being a prisoner for years on end. You know,
the problem with Brennan Johnson, I do think he's getting better. I think he's learning. I think that he does what he's only ever been used in Nottingham Forest and for Wales in a team that, you know, the defenders against the opposition against Forest or against Wales are not naturally normally going to want to have a higher line. So people like Brennan Johnson are going to have that space behind. Against Tottenham, for Tottenham, if we continue to develop and become a better and better team and want to go for the title, then increasingly more and more percentage of the Premier League are not going to offer us space, right? The better you are, the more likely the opposition are going to sit in. And so he's going to have to kind of ignore the pace thing or transition into being someone who knows how to drive at players. But for me, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think he's better on the right than he is on the left. But if we're going to hold Pedro Porro accountable for defensive frailties,
correct,
with a high line that's inverted, the Pape Sarr gets back and helps Pedro Porro.
Richarlison was getting back.
So does Decky on the right, right? If Decky's on the right, traditionally, and Sarr's in the second 8, then Pedro Porro had more help defensively. With Decky in the 10, Sarr not on the pitch, and Brennan Johnson up the top, like the entire right flank is entirely Pedro Porro's responsibility, and he's sometimes caught in the second 8 position himself. So like Brennan Johnson has to learn not only to get back, but also what to do when he does get back, because
football IQ.
He hasn't shown that yet.
I don't believe, personally, right at this moment, he's young. So, you know, I'm not writing him off. I'm not saying he's no good. I just, you know, he is still young. But right now, his football IQ, I don't think is great. You know, if you look at an Elise, for an example, right? Elise can take free kicks, can score goals easily, right? He's like a ballerina. Not only that, try him one-on-one down those flanks. He's got upper body strength, can hold him up. Brennan Johnson just seems like a really nice kid, right? But you need an edge. Most of our team, if you look at our team, Romero, Bentancur, Lo Celso, I can go for a Richarlison, right? Most of them have a little edge, right, to them. I think he needs to find that edge. I'm sure he's...
Can you learn it, though?
Improve.
Can you learn the kind of tenacity, the kind of the fight? If you haven't got it, if you haven't got it naturally, do you really want to like get in there and smash people up, or
he reminds me of the type of wingers that Spurs used to score. You know, Spurs used to produce these like lightweight wingers, very nice. But again, I just don't think that for that money, Elise and Eze, they're on a different league, right? Elise is the same age as him, and I'm sorry, he's already ahead of him. He's already way ahead of him. And Elise's just coming back, and I think he's already bagged in 2 goals and 3 assists or what have you. He's a top player. I hope I'm proved wrong, and he goes on to be... What he does have is incredible pace, but he has to use it. We can get to 500 likes. Come on, guys. It's not difficult.
Yeah, I mean, there's 850 people in the house. Just quickly, I want to say a massive shout out to, I'm guessing that's a redirect from Henry Wright. because you've all come in saying, "Why am I so bad at FIFA?" I don't know why I'm so bad at FIFA. I thought I'd do the kind of Abramovich approach and not worry about learning the game, just spend my way into a better team. And Henry Wright has got a 45-0 record against me, and
Doing well,
it's devastating.
Happy New Year, Henry, by the way, if you're watching.
Happy New Year, Henry. Happy New Year to Sabra as well. Shout out to you guys for bringing over the crew.
New Year to everybody.
Yeah, happy New Year to everybody. Smash the like, guys. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. We're not far off of 21K, about 30 subs. So if 30 of you haven't subscribed, it's free to do. Help me get to 21K would be really cool. Yeah, look, so Brennan Johnson, I think, is an enigma that's going to continue to divide some of the fan base. But I see a player there that is willing to learn, that's getting better. And look, I think that one of the things that you can't hide from, or you can't deny, is he's got a brilliant ability to hit a low ball on the run, which is quite a unique skill to be able to be running at pace and first time just smash it low into dangerous areas. And him and Richarlison are starting to sort of forge some chemistry there. And chemistry is what creates relationships. Relationships is what creates conversions, right? So
can I just ask you, Sean? My thoughts were, I don't know what you thought about this, that with Sonny leaving, I could have seen before the injury, I could have seen Richarlison drifting out to the left-hand side. I could have seen Johnson out on the right. I could have seen Veliz through the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. And I've seen Kulu in the middle of the park. I could have seen us playing a Kulu, Bentancur, Gio midfield. I could have seen potentially that happening. Now Veliz has gone. You know, I don't know how bad the injury was. I mean, it was like,
I haven't heard about it yet.
It was quite comical.
You know what? Though? I don't know if you should read too much into the tears, because I think Richarlison cries quite often and doesn't usually then have too many, like, his injury problems aren't too bad. We see a lot of tears out of South America, and then they're fit the next week. So, like, you know, Sonny cries as well a lot. I don't know. Footballers these days just seem to want to cry when they come off injured or come off, and then the next week they're back playing again.
Have you seen anything like that, though? Have you ever seen anything like what was going on with Veliz? I mean, it
outrageous.
was like, I mean, the highlight for me was Højbjerg's pass to him.
Yeah. What are we doing here, Pierre? Come on, mate. Unbelievable, mate. Let's pivot a little bit to the hang on. So I've got a super chat here from Mile High Hotspur. Big up, mate. How you doing? I hope you're okay, my man. Thank you for the super chat. He says, Sean, happy New Year. Just wanted to reach out and wish you and Bugsy the best for New Year. See you in April for the North London Derby. Are you coming over for North London? Amazing. I will see you then, mate. Great to meet you as well. It will be great to meet you. Appreciate the well wishes, and same to you. Bugsy's going to the vet this afternoon in about 3 hours' time. She sliced her paw open, and hopefully we're going to get it fixed. But she's the right hypochondriac. She knows that I'm giving her sympathy, and she knows how to work the game. She's an actress. Let's start with this particular piece of news. Big up, Haz. I think someone was saying, I haven't got it in front of me, but someone was saying it's just been announced by, was it Ornstein or someone else, that Reguilón is returning to the club.
I'm delighted.
Well, let me ask you this, though, before we get into why you're delighted. It does obviously, Hugo Lloris, we got a chock-a-block squad in terms of homegrown, right? Sorry, in terms of non-homegrown. The whole squad is a mishmash. Hugo Lloris has left. Reguilón's come back. Radu Dragusin, who's obviously the player we're going to talk about in a minute, if he comes in, at the moment, there's no room for him. There's no if Reguilón comes back in.
Get rid of Eric Dyer.
Right.
Foreigner.
Yeah. But then that means we're not going to be able to sign anybody else.
Well,
my point is, if Reguilón comes back and stays in the squad for the second half of the year, then if you sign Reguilón and Radu Dragusin and you just get rid of Hugo and Eric Dyer, then there's no other room for another foreign player to come in to our squad who's over the age of 21.
What happens. Look, I said as soon as Ange was announced, there's only two players who are out on loan who could possibly fit into this system. One was Sergio Reguilón, and one was Gio Lo Celso. Why did I say that about Reguilón? Because Reguilón, for me, is progressive footballer, likes to go forward. He's not suited to a rigid low block system that we were playing under Conte. Hence the reason why he surplus to requirements. I think going forward, he doesn't really, I think, suit Ten Hag's system. He didn't have bad games playing for them. I think, if we have injuries, again, I would rather have Reguilon playing there as a bona fide left-sided player who's got pace. Look, let's be honest. What's his name at Atletico Madrid? The most defensive coach in world football.
Simeone
wanted him at Atletico Madrid. Unfortunately, when he got there, he went for just a routine operation and caught a hospital virus that nearly done him in. He was out for months because of it, and that's why that loan ended. It wasn't about his performance, but the guy's done Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Man United, and Spurs. He's classic fullback. Yeah, but Sam, I hear what you're saying. He's not inverted, but neither was Destiny Udogie. If you watch him at Udinese, he hugged the touchline, picked up the ball, motored and cut in from that left-hand side. And if you looked at Pedro Porro, he wasn't really inverted either. So
there's a lot of
yeah, of course there will be. Yeah, exactly.
I don't get it. He's not coming back to start. Who would you rather have in the put the homegrown, non-homegrown thing to one side for a second? Would you rather have Emerson Royale playing left back, or would you rather, if Udogie's out injured or suspended, or would you rather have Reguilon?
This is the point they're trying to. The people aren't understanding here, right? This is a squad game. Right now, we're experiencing a squad game. Okay, we have got so many injuries. It's all about the squad, and if Destiny was injured right now, right, we can't play the rest of the season with him and no centre back, right? Because he's not playing Phillips at the moment, so we need left-sided cover, and that's what he is, left-sided cover. You say he's awful, but good enough.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Listen, as a squad member, I think. Listen, Sessegnon, don't even get me started.
Do you know I crunched some numbers earlier? Right, Ryan Sessegnon, since 2019, he's been at the club 4.5 years. In total, he has played 3,396 minutes in 4.5 years. Some players play 3,000 minutes in one season for their club. He played 3,500 for 4.5 years. At 55 grand per week, he has earned £3,789 per minute that he has played in a Tottenham shirt.
How about this one? Since Ryan Sessegnon injured his hamstring on the 5th of February 2023, Bentancur has ruptured his ACL, had a knee op, completed rehab to return to the Spurs 11, then injured his ankle ligaments and returned to the Tottenham 11 again. And we're still waiting for cheesy strings. So forgive me, but Reguilon has the experience. He's played at a higher level than Cess. He's played at Fulham and, may prove us all wrong, but he's been a disastrous signing so far. Maybe Reguilon will be moved on. I don't know, but I think
for me it's more about
recording.
It's about homegrown versus non-homegrown. For me, to pick, like, if he stays, then it means there's other consequences. You hope that Hugo Lloris is gone. So let's say Radu Dragusin, which we're going to talk about now, comes in. If Eric Dyer gets moved on, then Serge Reguilon comes in. If that's the case, then there's no more space for anybody else in the team unless Ivan Perisic gets sold or unless someone else like a Lo Celso or a Højbjerg gets sold. And with the news out today that Conor Gallagher is set to turn down any potential move away from Chelsea this summer, then if Tottenham do want to improve their first 11 opportunities, then again, we can go through it. The homegrown options to do so, I think that he's one of the best options. Like I said, I don't, as much as I know, I love Elise as well and Eze, but I just don't think those things are going to happen. Jadon Sancho isn't a good option. Ange has already come out and said, for him, character is more important than talent all day long. And Jadon Sancho has serious question marks whether they're good or not, or true or not. We'll talk about it in a second. Let me just quickly get the super chat. Martin Knightsbridge says we need to sell and buy better quality, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Reguilon's valuation is anymore, but I don't see anyone buying him outright. But I wouldn't mind. I don't
doesn't have
see
any money.
a problem with the loan if he wants to go, as long as we've got some plans. Danny Kiriaku's telling you to stop twerking for Reggie. He's terrible.
I'm not twerking, Danny, mate. Understand, there's a difference, right? It's called cover, okay? It's called cover. He's cover. We've already got him. We're not going to spend the money. I would rather he was covering for us in case of an injury than having to put a right back or a right-sided person in on the left there. And the likelihood is we're going to have more injuries, okay? So,
yeah.
But Reguilon over Sessegnon, I'm sorry, you know, the guy's played minutes for Man United. It's not like he hasn't played for Man United. He's had good games, okay? And he played for Real Madrid and he's played for Atletico Madrid. So it's not like, you know, he's come from Barnsley. But he's not starting. He's a go-to fullback.
I think he's done very well for Manchester United. If I speak to Man United fans, they've been relatively impressed by him, or in fact, very much impressed by him.
Correct.
Let's just update everyone. I'm sure by now most people have seen most of the noise out this morning, but I just got a few likes just to confirm their Tottenham Hotspur transfer target Conor Gallagher was expected to reject any move away, given he is a standing captain in the absence of Chelsea. That comes from Nizar Kinsella. Let's start with Conor Gallagher then, mate, just quickly as I run through these. What's your...
Did you see his stats? Did you see his stats on it? Conor Gallagher is the only player in Europe's Big Five leagues this season with 20 shots, 20 chances created, 20 dribbles completed, 20 touches in the opposition box, 20 duels won, 20 tackles and 20 interceptions. That's pretty unique. I don't know if he scored a goal though. Has he scored?
No, I don't think so. But he's not playing in that. He's not playing in the forward role like he was at Palace. Look,
yeah.
The only check I have on him. Let me see if I've still got it.
I'd take him tomorrow, mate.
Is it the one? Is this the one here? Oh, that's Tapsoba versus Van der Ven. Hang on, where is it? Have I got it? Oh, no, that's Todibo versus Dragusin.
Yeah, for me,
I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Let me see if I can get this up for you. This is the only thing about him that that when I was looking at this the other day, I was like, interesting, because I don't like people that pass the ball sideways, and I wasn't aware of this. But this is him compared to Højbjerg in the last year, right? Games played about the same, passes. Look, I mean, look, for me, here's the difference, right? Conor Gallagher's in the pink, Højbjerg's in the blue. Progressive passes, Højbjerg smashes him. Carrying the ball, Conor Gallagher smashes Højbjerg.
This isn't right. Yeah, but this isn't right because look, the thing about Ange, what Ange likes, Sean, he likes flexibility in the players. And what Conor Gallagher gives us is the flexibility that when you have injuries, which we always do, that the guy can switch between the role that I prefer him in, the Crystal Palace role that we were talking about before, where he's making those progressive passes, where he's scoring the goals and he's assisting. If you laid the Crystal Palace version of Conor Gallagher on here, this would look totally different, right?
Of course.
But there again...
But this is Gallagher in the 8 versus Højbjerg in the 8, right? So... Look, like I said, I'm sorry. Just to clarify, I'm not. This is still the devil's advocate show. Even though I need to go back after the game and tweak. I wasn't sure if you were coming on. I need to tweak all the titles. Yeah. This is the devil's advocate. So this is why me and you will always battle the other side of the argument. But for what it's worth, I am a massive advocate of Conor Gallagher, and I've wanted him since the link. I wanted him since the summer. I think he's versatile. I think he solves a massive homegrown issue, and I think he can do a bunch of different jobs. Plus, I think he works hard. He's a brilliant trainer, professional. He's got that mentality, character, kind of the stuff that Ange wants.
He's
the only thing that I had seen in this that I wasn't aware of was his lack of willingness to progress the ball forward and relative to kind of like, you know, simple passes or easier passes, which is the only concern I have of him.
No, I get that. I mean, what's interesting about that? What's interesting about that is the amount of Spurs fans, and they are large in number, who think that Højbjerg never progresses the ball. You know, you and I were both at Brighton. How many times did he put Brennan Johnson through on that right-hand side?
Yeah, exactly.
He completely screwed it up.
And against Bournemouth, I mean, he tried to take out Veliz, you know?
Correct.
He was doing progressive passes when progressive passes weren't necessary.
I mean, the fact if you are someone, who would you take? Conor Gallagher over Højbjerg? It would be 95% Conor Gallagher, right? Yeah, I don't think people really look at the attributes of him. But I can't see Chelsea. Look, the thing with Chelsea is if they sell Conor Gallagher to us, that is full FFP offset, which is huge. So
which is helping them, right?
Massively.
Oh, I don't know if you should. I don't know. Like, generally speaking, every transfer that every time you spend £50 million on a player, that's giving the other team 50 million reasons to get better as well, right? But I think you just have to worry about yourself.
No, but for Chelsea, who are walking that tightrope, that 50 million, which brought me onto a comment that I saw the other day, where Spurs haven't got a lot of money because they have to be very careful about FFP. Well, Harry Kane was homegrown and went for 100 million. That's 100 million pure FFP.
Yeah, we've got no problem with FFP.
Yeah,
no problem at all with FFP.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Let me ask you though, if not him, then we go in a different direction if we are looking for a midfielder. And if we did have £50 million or whatever it was to spend on Conor Gallagher, then there's other players. Then let's assume that there might be £50 million to still go into a midfield option should Højbjerg leave, should Lo Celso leave. And if those things happen, I'm not saying they will, but if they are happening, then again, it doesn't have to be a homegrown player, but it can be. And there's two names that we've been linked with today. One of them is Nottingham Forest Morgan Gibbs-White, who is more of an out-and-out kind of creative player.
Yeah, it's a 10.
It's a 10, right?
Yeah.
I really like this guy. For me, I think I don't necessarily know what his valuation is, and if we paid £50 million for Brennan Johnson, I'm sure he'll be a lot more. But thoughts on Morgan Gibbs-White?
He's a very good player. I was stunned that they paid 50 million. Was it 50 million they paid for him, nearly?
Yeah.
Stunned, right? That they paid that sort of money for him. Personally, I would rather wait and buy Eze in the summer. For me, he's got everything. Eze can play out wide. He can play on the flanks. He can play through the middle. He can play as a low striker. He's got a lot more options. I would be buying him or Elise over Gibbs-White. I think Gibbs-White, they're going to be demanding like £70 million. And I can't see Spurs spending that sort of money. Who's the other one we were linked with?
Hwang from Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Oh yeah, well, that'd be a good signing, especially he's in the Asian Cup with South Korea. It was probably February.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe that's one for the summer, but again, I'm not entirely sure there's any kind of merit to that one.
Neto, thanks.
You'd rather have Neto, yeah.
Yeah.
What about this guy Arta? I think I've been on the stream with you before when we've looked at this fella from Royal Antwerp, Artem Vermeeren, the 19-year-old.
Yeah, Spurs are interested in. Spurs are definitely interested in him. I was told about him. Spurs were looking at him in the summer when he was 18. Is he 19 now? Is he
19 now? But I think he's 19 now. But I did a video on him. So when we got linked with him the other day, I did a video. I was like, I'm sure I've looked at this guy recently. I searched through my YouTube. And I found I did a video on him in October the 10th, I think it was. And at that point in the video, I was getting up his FB refs and I was getting up his transfer market valuations and that. And he was valued at 15 million euros on transfer market. And his stats looked really good then. I then gone back and done a comparison, a side by side in the last 6 to 8 weeks. And his transfer market valuation has doubled. He's now 32 million euros, again, on transfer market. But his stats have gone up from very, very good back in October to phenomenal now. Like he's doing it in the Belgium league. So again, never know what the transition is going to be like, but people love him.
I was discussing. I was on a space where we had the Belgium football journalist on, and we were talking about Arthur Vermaelen and Montezir Taibi was the other one that we were discussing, and. He was saying that Spurs really like him, and Spurs have been looking at him. I think he was in 18 at that time. For me, the player I really like is Rooney at Copenhagen. I think he's
Rooney Bargy or Bargery, whatever.
Haraji,
yeah.
I think he's going to be a top player. That's the sort of player for me that we should be going for. Bundles of talent, real fighter, battler, and he's doing it for Copenhagen. They've been outstanding in the Champions League again this season. Yeah, I mean, look, we've also been linked with the Ajax boy, so have other people. The young kid, the 18-year-old. That I think, Sean, that we will find that our man Don Fabio will come up with something that no one expected. Another Vicario that the fans can go into meltdown about. That you know, what a waste of time. I remember when we signed Papa Sarr, said he can't even start for his French team. You know, blah blah blah. There was so much negativity about it, and I think a lot of the fan base didn't realise what we'd pulled off when we signed Destiny. I did, because you know he was on the list as one of the top 5 left-sided young players in Europe. So I couldn't believe that we'd signed him.
Mate, I want to show you. I want to show you something. I want to show you. So I was doing a bit of research earlier, right? And let me see if I can get this up for you. Here we go. Let's go to the Y Scout, right? So I was looking for. Can you see? Can you see the screen? Oh, it's not on the screen.
No. You need to switch it up.
Right. So I was looking at. I was looking for left wingers, and hang on. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see it a little bit clearer.
I need a telescope to see that.
Hang about. So I've just. If you can see over here, right? I'm just looking for all the players.
Gonzalez again.
Huh?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were.
Oh, sorry. Well, this is just a list of players that have been filtered out, right, or filtered in from my searches. Yeah. So I'm looking for a player that plays on the left wing, between the ages or from who's 25 or younger, who's played about 1,600 minutes or more, which is a decent amount of time in the last 365 days across all leagues, anywhere in football. I'm looking for someone that does specific things, right? Someone who likes to drive at players, who's very good at crossing, who's very successful at dribbling, who likes to dribble per 90. That should be a little bit high. That should be filtered up already. Who's very good at accelerating, right? Who can beat the man, who gets a couple of assists, and he makes progressive runs per 90, right? And I filtered this thing. The website shut down earlier. Who's also very good at receiving passes. His accuracy of pass when they make it is very high. Basically, everything you could possibly want from a left winger that drives at players. And I was going through this. Obviously, you can write off some of these guys like Florian Wirtz and Kvaratskhelia, Leao, Martinelli. They aren't going to come, right? What's interesting for what it's worth is that Manor Solomon, according to the stats, does everything that we're looking for in a left winger. So maybe there's more to him than we've allowed to kind of thrive or flourish. But I stumbled across these 2 players. Also, there's 3 players actually. One of them at Real Sociedad. But this guy here, I don't know if you've heard of him. Amin Adli.
I think I've seen him. How old is he, this guy?
He's 23 years old, right? He's 23 years old.
I'm sure I've seen him on a play. I don't watch a lot of German football. I tune in for a certain amount of games. Why does he play?
Oh, I'd encourage anybody. I can't.
Has he played for France? Has he played for France?
No, he plays for Morocco. He's a Morocco international. Right, and
rings a bell.
Plays for Bayer Leverkusen. He's broken through into the Leverkusen team this year. He's valued at only 15 million quid. I'd encourage anybody who watches. I'd love to be able to click on the profile right now and then just show you the best actions or go into all the different areas of his game to show you guys. But obviously, I can't do that for copyright reasons. But go if you want to do it now. Hang on, what's gone on here? Why is it logged out? Hang on a second.
What do they charge for Y Scout now?
It's like 500
a year.
500 a year or something. Yeah. Have I got to do this again? Oh, you absolute git. Listen, I won't show you. It's disappeared right now. But anyway, so there's. Maybe I'll come back to it in a minute. I don't want to slow up the show. Why does it keep doing that? It keeps logging out all the time. I want everyone to go and look at Adli from Leverkusen. I want everyone else to go and look up when you get a second, guys. I want you to look up this fella who's going to cost about £5 million
until Spurs come.
Plays Andreas Schlederup Schelderup, right?
He's German.
He's 17, 18 years old. He plays for he's in the Norwegian under 21 team, and he plays for Nordjylland, right? Or maybe he plays for Benfica. Does he play for Benfica or Nordjylland? I think he might be at. I know he's on loan from Benfica at Nordjylland, but he's going back to
Benfica. Is he Norwegian?
Yeah, he's Norwegian, right? You got to go and check out this guy, and his valuation is nothing. His valuation is a piddly like £7 million.
What's his name again?
Yeah, it's really difficult to spell it. SCHJEL.
Hang on, SCHJEL. Yeah.
DERUP. Schelderup. Andrea Schelderup.
Schelderup.
Yeah.
What's his first name? Dave.
And Andrea Schelderup. Hang on, Defo isn't £5 million, mate. I'm going off of transfer market, buddy. Literally says on transfer market €7 million, which is £5 million. I don't know what the valuation is. I only discovered the guy today. But go and check him out. He is a.
You sure that isn't? You sure that looks like a girl?
It does look like a girl, doesn't it? Yeah, it looks a little bit like a girl. Listen, we don't.
She's the woman's football protege.
Yeah. Hey, it is what it is.
She used to be a woman. She's now a guy. Sorry, it's a transition. No, it's a left winger.
Him as a wonder kid. No way, £5 million, mate. I'm just going off of what's on transfer market. Jesus Christ.
18 years of age. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I'd never heard of this kid before. Apparently, okay, Ash knows more about Norwegian footballers than I do. Sue me.
Yeah, it's the real story of Football Manager's most popular player.
Oh, yeah, Football Manager superstar, is it? Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go. That's how he knows about it. Poor knowledge. I don't play Football Manager, bro.
Yeah, the feeling was even more so when Benfica completed the sign of Andreas Schlupp from Nordjylland, who at the time of his transfer on January the 12th was the most signed player on Football Manager 23.
Right. There you go.
But what made him so popular in the game? How good a player is he in real life?
Well, I'd never heard of him until I was just using the Y-Scout. I stumbled across him and I spent about 20 minutes just going through his highlight reels. And wow, this kid is good. So look, if he's already at Benfica and he's being loaned back, then obviously forget that one. Take it off. But go and look at the fella from Leverkusen, Adley, and there's another one at Real Sociedad. I wanted to bring up. Where is he? Sociedad. He's got another weird name.
Is anyone? What about Carlos Kickerball, Sean?
Who's Carlos? Who's Carlos Kickerball?
Do you not remember Alan Sugar when he was going on? Yeah, and you go out there and they going to find some foreigner called Carlos Kickerball and pay a whole hump of money. Yeah.
Don't remember that one.
Carlos Kickerball.
Real Sociedad squad. This guy's got an X in his name. Where is he? Detailed squad. Let's have a look.
It's all important if he's got the X in his name.
He plays as a left winger. Hadn't seen him play before, but unbelievable. Here we go. Barentia. And Barentia. This guy looks absolutely incredible as well. And he's only 20. I think he's 21 years old, 20 years old. 19 years old. How old is he? Oh, he's 22. Just turned 22 years old. So, and if you haven't seen these guys, go and have a look. So there's left wingers out there galore. Is my point, Johnny. Antonio Noose is obviously a player that a lot of teams are looking at, right? Jota, though, do you think Jota is a player that the Tottenham are going to get this
Jota,
summer?
you can just see a 6-month loan with an option or something to see us through. Can you not?
I think so, but I'm okay with that. Like, same with Calvin Phillips. Like, I don't want us. I think Tottenham in the past have been too guilty of going after players that on 5-6 year deals and then never really knowing whether they're going to be good enough or not. Like we did it with Lo Celso, right? We give him a 6-month loan deal, and then we rush to get that made permanent. And as soon as he becomes permanent, he then just sort of fizzles out a little bit under, I think it was Jose or whatever the relationship was, that kind of a little bit of injury and stuff. But Tottenham have done it with Ndombele. Tottenham do these things where you commit too early without knowing what these players are like. And I think there's nothing wrong with doing a loan, especially with someone like Calvin Phillips, someone like Jota, who hasn't really played that competitive football for the last kind of year of their life. You don't know if they've still got that kind of.
I think we're a different outfit, though.
You know?
I think we're a different outfit now. You know, I cannot compare Steve Hitchin with Fabio Paratici. I'm sorry, they're not even. I'm just a bit upset that Gabby had to go, because Gabby was also incredibly good at his job. But, you know, I'm not sure that Lange has the big role that everyone thinks he has, personally. But I do trust that Fabio is a workaholic and that he's moving heaven and earth. You know, we've seen him on the touchline going mental. He's a disciple of football, and he would have no doubt had meetings, passionate meetings with Ange to discuss the type of player and profile that they want. And I think it would be amiss of them if we did not already know exactly who we wanted.
Yeah.
I would rather us sign nobody than just sign a throwaway centre-back for this window and us toss a whole load of money away. I really do. I mean, you can't always get it right, but I would rather loan a centre-back for 6 months than go and, rush to buy, a make weight. If he's not right for the long-term project of the club, do not sign him. We don't want someone to fill in for 2 months. No point.
Yeah.
Aldi's better than Lidl? Did he put?
He's a little better. Aldi's a little better
than Aldi.
Yeah. Let me get through some super chats, mate. Then we got some more stories to get through with regards to transfers. We've got coming in, going out, new contracts for Pape Sarr I want to talk to you about as well. There's a question here for you as well from Drew. Big up, Drew. But before we get to it, let's get to these ones. A user saying, big up a user. Hey, Sean, thoughts on the midfield? Connor, anyone else? But I think we've covered that one, mate. I really like Connor, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. In terms of other midfielders, I'm a big fan of that Arta Vermeeren. And by the way, you could sign him, stick him in the youth, and then by the time he turns 21, he'll count as a homegrown. So, that for me kind of kills two birds with one stone. He is that good that early in his career, allegedly. Although obviously there's the gap in knowledge around how we'll transition. But he's talked about it like he's going to be the next insert amazing, Central European footballer. If he's good enough, it's all about squad rotation, isn't it? If he's good enough, I think that we can get up his stats in a minute. He looks absolutely phenomenal. But thank you for the super chat. Yeah. KM saying, Sean, what do you think of Brownhill? Is that Brownhill at Burnley?
Burnley, yeah. Listen, he's
28 years old, isn't he?
Yeah,
I think he's a really good player. He reminds me a little bit of like John McGinn as well, like just a solid, strong, really, really kind of tough, biting midfielder. But at 28, if there's one player from Burnley I do really like, it's Koleosho. I think he's a really good, really interesting young player who can drive at players.
The Italian boy. You talk about hang on.
No, I think Koleosho's English, isn't he? Koleosho.
Well, hang on. What's the Italian kid that had a good game against us, even though we lost? They lost.
Oh no, Luca Koleosho is American, Canadian, and Italian. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's Italian. Anyway,
not sure.
Brownhill's a good, good workman-like player. Scores some good goals. I mean, he's not at our level. I would say Oliver Skipp is at Burnley level.
Look at this for Luca Koleosho, right? He played for the American under-15s, the Italian under-19s.
Knew he's Italian.
The American under-20s, the Canadian under-20s, the Italian under-20s, the Italian under-21s, and then he finally settled for Canada. He had three different options to play. He went to Canada in the end.
Yeah, Canada have got a good young team. They've got some good players coming through Canada.
Just a harmless potato. Member for 3 months. Big up, mate. Really appreciate your support. Very much so. Thank you, buddy. And then Drew Zilla is saying, big up, Drew. Hope you're doing well, mate. He says, big up, lads. Happy New Year to you both. Happy New Year to you. Can I ask you, Johnny, just how much involvement does Paratici still have since Mann and Langer started in their roles? How much consulting is he doing?
Plenty.
Yeah.
He's
In what regard?
Involved.
In like
He's involved.
in terms of scouting, getting the conversation with the Italian
you know,
players.
like his connections are huge. You know, I mean, Munn, you got to remember, is not a football. I mean, working at a low-level Australian league for the City Group, yeah, it's great. But you know, he would not have the connections that Fabio has. 10 years at Juventus, the years. You know, here when you're involved at a club like Juve, you have everyone's open door. So, and I don't think, you know, with what's gone on, has quelled him. And Lange, I don't think Lange is at the top of the tree when it comes to making the decisions. You know, again, he was at Copenhagen before he went to Aston Villa, and you know, I'm not saying he hasn't made some good signings for Villa, but I think this is much a joint operation. And you've also got Andy Scolding there, which people seem to have forgotten about, who was Rangers and brought in the likes of Calvin Bassey and others to Rangers. Fabio is still involved in seeing who's available and getting deals across the line. I mean, you know, as you well know, Sean, I stuck my neck on the block on Fabio long time ago, before all this started going right last summer, even before Ange was appointed, and you know, came in for a lot of abuse. But I can see now it's coming into fruition. We all know that Big Vic was a Fabio signing. You know, for him to jump in ahead of all the big Italian clubs and pick him up for 17.5 million is genius. And if you're Daniel Levy right now, having spent 23 years getting it wrong more often than you were ever getting it right, to suddenly find a guy that's, you know, who's delivering on a much higher percentage success rate than has been achieved before. Maybe Paul Mitchell was the only other one that sort of maybe came close to it. Then you know, you're not going to get rid of. You're going to try and keep him as involved as possible. So he is involved, but it's not a one-man decision. It's a group decision. But I think Fabio is a strong voice there still.
Now, let me thank you for that, Dragusin. I really appreciate you, mate. Let me then move on, because we're talking about Juventus. We're talking about players. Big up, Derek. Talking about players that maybe Paratici is responsible for. This one obviously came out from Romano about an hour ago. There's the follow-up, the arrow, the white shirt, the Romanian flag, THFC. It's imminent, isn't it? And this guy has played at Juventus with Bentancur and with Kulusevski. There's a picture knocking around about getting
2018. He was
5
there.
years ago, yeah.
Yeah, 2018, he was there with them all. Fabio knows him. I mean, come on.
Are you excited about Dragusin?
Listen, to say I'm excited would be wrong, because, you know, I haven't seen him play enough. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I watched him for Genoa. And they'll say, Genoa? No, I didn't. Right?
She dragged him into bed.
Do I trust the man with a man bun? No, unless he's Gareth Bale. But do I trust Fabio Paratici? 100% yes. Okay. If he's saying this is the guy, and he's going to cost us 30 million euros, as opposed to Tobido, who I always thought was going to be a struggle to get him. I've got to be honest with you. It's like, you know, unless we sign Tapsoba, you know, it's no good. Typical Levy, sign Mickey van der Ven. You know, where are those voices? Oh, typical, we should have signed Raya. We've signed this bloody Vicario. Who is he? No one's even heard of him. Where are they now? So let's hope this is more of the same. And this is a shrewd buy of a guy who's 21, is he? 23. Hang on.
23, I think. Yeah, 23.
23.
There's
16
no
caps.
question marks about his defending. For me, if you like a defender to defend, then you've got a defender who can defend very, very well. I really, I think he's strong.
A bit shorter than he normally likes. 6'3". He normally likes 6'4" and above.
Yeah.
But he's 6'3", 16 caps for Romania.
He's a very, very good defender. He's strong. He's brilliant in the tackle. His timing. He's good in the air. Everything that you want from an old school defender, you've got in him. The only question mark I have, and I got pelters for it on Twitter for even daring to have an opinion, was that if you go onto Y-Scout and you just dial in to his passing, his short passing under pressure, it's a little bit sloppy at times. I've done 3 videos on the guy. My first video was before I really did too much research on him. The second and third videos were afterwards, and nothing. My opinion hasn't changed. Brilliant defensively, but this day and age, a defender needs, especially in our system, needs to have the confidence to be able to carry the ball, break the line. Them doing that or passing through the line with zip. Like, I think Romero's best trait for Tottenham is his passing. As mad as that sounds, I think he's brilliant at getting the ball fast, zip through to the midfield, and then creating that space to get things going. I think that Emerson and Ben Davies don't have that same ability. This guy, from what I've seen, but he's only young, he can learn and improve. But from what I've seen, he doesn't have it to the same level as Romero does. But I think he's a better defender than probably any of them at doing the defending work.
Listen, I'm not going to have that on Romero. Listen, look, the thing is, we encourage progressive passing. Okay, I would rather, I love the fact. I hated watching our football. It was like scared. Oh, I can't make a forward pass in case I lose it. Let's pass it. So, no, you have the ball. No, you have the ball. No, you have the ball. That's what I felt I was watching. Now, everyone's willing to take risk and progress the ball. And so the guy comes here and he makes mistakes. Listen, Emerson Royal is absolute toilet. Yeah, he had a great shot that was saved. He got umpteen and one blocks in and defensive.
That was an amazing shot, by the way. Zipped in, wasn't it?
And he put a beautiful ball over the top for Brennan Johnson to release, which released him for the cross for Richarlison's goal. So, look, there are negatives with everyone. No one is 100%. If we get the Dragon in, Count Dragon, I'm going to call him Count Dracula. From Romania.
Count Dracula. I love that. That's amazing.
Dracula. Yes. Our Transylvanian superstar.
Count Dracula.
I'm all for it. We need it.
We
need it. And can we order a taxi while we're at it for Eric? Maybe just send a taxi for him to Spain, to Portugal, wherever he's gonna go. But people say to me, why do I hate him? I just feel that a club that's given him so much for so many years and given him a living for 10 years, you are going to waltz out of here on a free, okay? That's how much you respect the club, where, you could get something for it. Let's have a small fee and go. But no, you're going to milk it to the death, aren't you? We know it.
Yeah. Do you think if we do get Dragusin, Count Dracula, do you think that is the defensive reinforcements then done? Bearing in mind...
Yeah, I think if you bring back Reguilon, I know everyone doesn't want Reguilon, but it's called cover, okay? And we ain't going to sign. I would rather sign a defensive midfielder, another defensive midfielder, that's a long-term. Look, we've spoken about him before. I really like Gerstruder, right?
Yeah.
For me, he can play as a 6, he can play as a right back, and he can play as a centre back. Ange always talks about flexibility in players that can play various roles, and there's a typical example of one. I think what's his name can play as a right back as well, can he? Dragon? Or not?
Well, Dragusin, no, he's more of he's centre back, really.
Yeah,
I think according to Transfer Market, he has had minutes in his life at right back and left back, and so they put it up there. But no, he's just a centre back for me. But I'm just wondering, because we've also linked with Ko Itakura. Let me get this link up. Let me show you this, guys. Share this tab instead. This is a player that I've done videos on before as well. Liverpool and Tottenham go head to head for the signing of Ko Itakura.
Well, he might be worth signing just based on his. Let's have a look at him again.
As reported by Fabrizio Romano, Liverpool and Tottenham are set to go head-to-head for the signing of Borussia Mönchengladbach centre-back Ko Itakura. It's understood that Liverpool have been monitoring the development of the Japanese international and have been impressed by his performances for Defolen. As for Tottenham, Postecoglou is said to be a long-term admirer of Gladbach defender, with the former Celtic head coach once wanting to lure Itakura to Celtic Park. Nevertheless, there are a number of other clubs looking to sign the 26-year-old. However, as of now, Liverpool and Tottenham look like the most likely to land his signature. I did a video on him before. Really interesting player, really different to Dragusin. Like, if I'm honest, much better with the ball at his feet, much more progressive, much more kind of. He's brave.
He's more attacking.
Very, very brave Japanese defender. Like, he loves putting his head. If someone's smashing the ball at 100 miles an hour from a long shot, he's got absolutely no worries at all about putting his hands behind his back and just sort of throwing his head in the way. Positionally very astute. I like his kind of reading of the game, and he's good on the ball. But what I would say, he's not as tall. I don't think he's as tall. I'm not sure how tall he is, but I don't think
he's quite short for his height, to be honest.
Is it quite short for his he gets forward. You can look at his stats here in terms of passing. That this confirms it. He's up there in the sort of top 10 percentile. Getting the ball defensively, very good. Top 10 percentile for blocks, shots blocked, passes blocked. Doesn't make any errors, so he's clever. Tackle. He likes to tackle in the top third of the pitch, which is important if you're going to play in the high line. He's a good fit for us, I think. But I just don't know if Tottenham are going to go and find another one.
Yeah, he's very brave. He's a very brave player. I mean, who's going to be the influence there? Going to somewhere like Liverpool with Endo, who's already at the Japanese international, who's already at Liverpool. Would that be an influence? Or would Big Ange, with his years in the Asian market and in Japan, be an influence? I mean, he couldn't influence him to go to Celtic. Could the draw coming to Spurs be a bigger draw? I mean, let's be honest. I'm a massive Spurs fan. I love my club dearly. But are Liverpool a bigger draw for a Japanese international than coming to Spurs?
Yeah, I guess it comes down to sort of, what's Liverpool's back line. Van Dijk.
What about Joe Gomez?
Canati, Joe Gomez, who's been shoehorned out to the left at the moment.
Would you sign Joe Gomez?
No. Would you?
No, I just put it out there because,
people were, I was having an argument with someone the other day. People were saying that they think he's better than Ben Davies. I don't. I think Joe Gomez. I remember Joe Gomez playing for Liverpool against Napoli in the Champions League last year, and he got absolutely murdered by the Napoli forward line. They just twisted him inside and out but it wasn't just him. There was all of Austria was on it. Like, it was just embarrassing. I was like, this guy is so out of his depth. And every time I've watched him, he's a versatile player that can get around. He's English, so he's homegrown. He's played for England 4 or 5 years ago. He's an okay player. He's a good player, good squad player, similar to Ben Davies. Though I don't want us to have any more of that. I want us to have players that are competing.
I mean, he's not going to come to us now since Tomiskas got injured by his own manager. I mean, it's not going to happen. I think it's something that Spurs might have looked at had that injury not occurred. I mean, the only saving grace I would say is that Liverpool have quite a few centre-backs. I mean, would I be more comfortable? If we buy 2 centre-backs, what is that saying about Ashley Phillips?
Well, that's the next question I was going to ask you, right? At the moment, mate, you've already got, if you sign Dragusin, then you've got a top 3 options of Van der Ven, Romero, Dragusin, in whichever order you want. Then after that, you've got Ben Davies. This is in order of preference for Ange at the moment. Ben Davies is 4th choice. Royale is 5th choice.
Well, second.
Højbjerg or Dyer is 6th and 7th choice at centre-back. And then after that, you've got apparently Dorrington or Ash Phillips, 8th and 9th choice. We've got 2 recognised centre-backs at the club. And the two kids that are supposed to be chomping at the bit to get in are technically 8th and 9th choice.
They're never going to see any minute. I mean, I listen, for me, that was one of my takeaway annoyances on the weekend. We're 3-0 up. You give Ashley Phillips moments. Give him a moment, give him 10 minutes. Because what would happen if we get another injury against Burnley and he needs to come on? And the other thing, I don't know if you noticed, 2 games on the trot now, he's told Jamie Donnelly to get undressed and get ready. And he's come to the byline already chomping at the bit to go on. And he's told him to sit back down. He did it at Brighton and he did it again on Sunday. Demoralising. Okay, I mean, will you be donning the man bun, Sean, if we do sign him? That's what I want to know.
You know what? I am actually growing my hair. So
there you go.
Little while, I could probably
squeeze
it out. You know, I could probably squeeze it out.
I definitely couldn't get anywhere near that. So, yeah.
He's a good-looking guy. Bun. He's a good-looking boy, you know, with his shorts tucked in. He'll fit in with the James Maddison
Mickey Van der Ven. Him and Mickey Van der Ven next to each other.
Yeah, they're going to go out and terrorise North London nightclubs after the game. Can you imagine? Can you imagine going down Enfield? Him, Mickey Van der Ven. Just going to have their pick of the ladies, aren't they?
Yeah.
Gits. The absolute gits. Yeah, so look, it looks like this is a brand new tweet from Fabrizio. Basically says I think it's done. I'd be very surprised if anything falls apart now. If he comes in the next 48 hours, do you see him participating or being on the bench for Burnley?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Throw him in. Then what could happen? His first mistake, X will light up saying we've signed a bummer, just the same as when Vicario.
Mate, you know what?
The first game against West Ham.
The first time he.
Yeah, the first bad mistake. Right, Vicario. I got to tell you this: the Vicario game, his first game for West Ham, he was shit. He was at fault for all 3 goals, and I saw them all going on. I had then had to point out to someone he didn't even play the second half.
Yeah.
He was all 3 goals.
I remember that. Yeah.
He wasn't on the pitch for the second half, right?
It was terrible for all of the goals in the preseason, but he was only on for 3 of them.
Yeah. He was only on for 2 of them. But so, I mean, this is what's going to happen. The Spurs fan base, 50% will be going, I've never heard of him, right? Never heard of him. Therefore, he must be shit. Typical Tottenham.
Do you know what, though? Equally, mate, the first time he puts a lofted through ball, I'll be getting the pelters. People bring out the bookmarks. You said he can't pass. You said he's rubbish. I was like, no, I didn't. I just said I'd rather have had Todibo and that his passing is a question mark. Just quickly, I haven't even thought about this, but Danny Kiriakou, Dragusin is my man. Dragusin is almost you, my man. We're going to call him Radu Dragiaku. Is that going to work? Dragasaku?
Radu Kiriakou.
It's almost the same. If you would just lighten your hair a little bit there, Danny, mate. There's not that dissimilar. You got the same little beard thing going on.
All you need is 6'3" in height, and you'll be done.
Yeah. And some football talent, and a little bit more better looked, and then you're almost there, Danny. There you go, Radu Kiriakou. That's what I was looking for. I couldn't get it out. Well, it looks like he's coming in. Just quickly then, mate, about the Burnley game. What do you want to do with the team? Do you want Tottenham to go full strength?
Oh, listen, look, do you know what? I'm still smarting from the Fulham game. I mean, we should be in the semi-finals now. I mean, it's been a ride that we should have been there. I 100% believe we should have been there. So is he going to say, I can't even bear it when he talks about it. I'm not here about, it's not about winning trophies. Short term. Could you imagine if he puts in Phillips and Torrington or Phillips and whatever, and we lose, and he goes, well, all the fans wanted it, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Can't be right for wrong, mate. Can't be right for wrong.
I asked for it, mate. You know, we're out the cup. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is.
I think you have to go full strength, right? It's not like he's saying, oh, this system is too taxing. You can't play more than once a week with the same 11 players, which to me is a terrifying like announcement or whatever. If that is the case, I think he's just playing 4D chess, by the way.
Do you look at?
Yeah, to a degree, I feel like because he didn't. He's always been very honest until I feel like
Brighton.
Well, he said first of all he didn't like this. He didn't let anybody know that that what's his name was back, that Benson Core was back, right? So a little bit of dishonesty there, which I'm happy to see, keeping everyone guessing.
Is he really back though, or was that to fill in for Kulu?
Well, he got through. He didn't play very well, did he? But he got through 60 minutes, which is
He was sucking it up after 20, Dan, Sean. I looked down and I said, look at him, he's sucking it up. 25 minutes, actually, to be fair. And he was...
A bit like Brennan Johnson then.
Huh? Yeah.
A bit like Brennan Johnson against Wolves.
Yes. Oh, my God. Like, it's funny you mentioned that, because I was saying, how can you be 22 and out of breath at this
when
stage?
you've only touched the ball 8 times? You know, he touched the ball 8 times in that first half, I think it was. It was madness.
Wolves and Brighton, he's been out abysmal.
Yeah, he was good against Bournemouth. He was very good against Bournemouth, I thought, or better against Bournemouth. But he needs to. There's lots he needs to work on in his game. But I do think there's a player there. For me, mate, in terms of Saturday, I think that because you've got a week from the last game and a week until
Friday,
the next game.
Is it Friday? Friday night?
Friday night. Yeah. I think you should go full strength. Obviously, without Sonny, then the front line will be interesting. But for me, I think you put Richie, keep Richie in the 9. Do you give Brian Hill a chance on the left and then Brennan Johnson on the right and then Decky in the 10? Is that how you'd go with the front 4? Or would you try something different?
Well, I mean, is Sonny definitely gone?
Yeah, he's gone, yeah.
For the cup game?
Yeah.
I mean, could he not have delayed it?
When's the first
I thought it doesn't start till the 10th. And then not the first game. Anyway, who is this South Korea anyway? I would have started, as I said, I would have started Villis through the middle, Richie on the left, Johnson on the right, Kulu in the middle. But now that's gone. You're going to have to start Kulu. I would play Kulu on the left, Johnson on the right. Richie through the middle, potentially. I don't know. He might play Gil.
Who in the 10? Lo Celso in the 10?
Yeah, Lo Celso in the 10 with please not Skippy again. He was so bad.
Højbjerg and Bentancur.
I'm not being funny. How Skip managed to stay on the pitch is a miracle. Some of those challenges were awful. We're awful. Yeah.
Just quickly, Japhet Tanganga might be going on loan to Luton. Okay with that?
Yeah. Dane Scarlett, I saw all the comments like Scarlett to return. Scarlett couldn't get in the Ipswich team. What makes people think? What makes people think, he's going to come back and he's going to take over from Villis? I don't know. Maybe
I didn't even think Villis was ready, to be honest. So, I know he's playing well and he's working his
I thought he did well that 20 minutes short against Brighton. I really did.
But to start a game, I don't know. It's a big. We'll find
game.
out.
Why not?
We won't find out now, will we? Do we even know how long he's out for?
We haven't heard anything.
No,
we haven't heard anything.
So your 11 is Vicario in goal. Do you keep the back 4 as it is? Porro, Udogie, Davies, and Royale.
Yeah. You don't change
and then
anything. Well, I would actually. I've got to be honest with you. I'd try Phillips.
You would, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, otherwise, what's worrying me is what is the message? Come the summer, these kids are going back. We ain't ever going to get a game, guys. They're going to sign even more players. When are we ever going to get a game? Where would Alfie Devine be right now if he was at the club?
Wouldn't be playing, would he? He's doing well. Oh, he's doing very well over in. I saw a.
Yeah, he's doing very well for Port Vale.
Saw a tweet
earlier.
Will
he be in the squad next season, or will he be out on loan again?
I hope so. Where's the thing I saw about him? Here we go. Tottenham loanee Alfie Devine stats for Port Vale last night versus Carlisle. 90 minutes played, 1 chance created, 80% long balls completed, dispossessed 0 times, successful tackles 2 out of 2, 3 clearances, 1 header clearance, 9 recoveries made, 75% ground duels won, 50% aerial duels won. This guy's saying another promising display from Alfie once again, having now established himself as a firm starter for Port Vale. Devine was excellent in the last couple of games in which he played in a deeper position, displaying his excellent long-range passing and sharp vision. I know your boy and my boy Brian Daigle is a massive advocate of old Alfie. Yeah. Do you think he'll come back next year and be a part? Port Vale in the Championship, or they're in the Championship, aren't they?
League One.
Oh, he's League One, is it? Okay.
Yeah. Which is what under 21s is really League
Yeah.
One. If you sign Gallagher, he ain't getting a game. I mean, for me personally,
I thought he did really well in the summer, in the pre-season. I thought he didn't look out of place at all.
I think he's a good player. I think he's a really good player. I'm just saying, you know, personally, I would sell Højbjerg, even though I like Højbjerg. He wants to go. Sell him. Use the money from Højbjerg and Oliver Skip. I know that's not going to go down well. Homegrown. He's one of our own. It's not good enough. Nothing wrong with him. You know, as a person, you know, does a job. But for the level that we need to be at, for those two sales, we could cover and get 50 million or a bit more, you know, for and use that money for a quality player. And if a quality player comes in, what is the chance of Devine or Donnelly getting minutes?
No, exactly. Yeah, but I think that if you're good, like I don't want to necessarily just subscribe to this idea of because we've got some talent in the youth, therefore we don't look to always improve. If they're good enough, they'll play. Sort of thing. If they're good enough, like the cream always rises. But if he's only playing League One football right now, then the obvious thing will be next season he'll get loaned out to a Championship team, unless Port Vale, you know, go up and then he can stay there and see what he's like at the Championship. Yeah. But to bring him home and expect him to get into the first team, having only played at League One level, you know, I think you need to see what he's like at the next step before you, unless he's just killing it and above, you know, like just miles above everybody else.
My point is what is the message that's being sent here? Because for me, you're 3-0 up.
Yeah.
Phillips should have come on, not Eric Dyer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You know, I love Ange, but some of his decisions are baffling. You know, you bring on Jamie Donnelly.
3-0 up, exactly. Where's Donnelly? Donnelly should be getting minutes in that game.
You give Donnelly the most amount of minutes against Man City when it's 3-3, yet when you've taken off all the creative midfielders against Villa and against West Ham, you don't bring him on when we need some of that creativity, and we all know that he can create the passes. He's got that in him. So anyway,
I agree. All right, buddy. What's your prediction for the Burnley game?
I think it's going to be a really tough game.
Yeah. I don't think we should be. I don't think we should take it lightly either. I think we need to.
I'm going to go 2-1.
Yeah. All right.
I was at Burnley away where we absolutely destroyed them, but there again we had Son, Mickey van der Ven, Romero, Madders. You know, we were on fire that day. He's not staying. There you go. So maybe we're bringing someone else in.
Let's have a look. What's he said?
Let's have a look.
He has said Serge Reguilon is expected to leave Spurs again during the January window as he wants to play regularly. Loan options being considered. There's interest from Premier League clubs after Dortmund added him to their list in December. Race remains open. Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's not good enough. But again, look at the clubs involved in looking at him. You know, why would no one's got money, Sean? That's the bloody problem. No one's got money.
What did I say was good business? Mo and Sean said that was good business. What did I say was good business? Conor Gallagher.
I mean,
Conor 50 million. I never said 50 million quid. I said Conor Gallagher would be a good trade. I wish people would listen to what you say.
Yeah.
But anyway, mate, we're going to leave it there. We're going to wrap it up, buddy. Really appreciate you coming on. Guys, smash the like button. We haven't even got over 500 likes. There's been 1,000 people in the show the whole way. Hit the subscribe as well if you haven't already.
And give me a follow.
Johnny, where can people find you, mate?
It's not up on the screen. Is it up on the screen?
Hang on a second. Let me get it for you. Where is it?
It hasn't been up the whole time, actually.
Yeah, it'll be in the title. What am I doing here? Where have you gone? Here you are. Johnny. There he is. Finally found it. Here we go, guys. Please make sure you get over to Twitter, where Johnny is most often found. Are you still doing your spaces, mate? I haven't seen a space.
Well, I haven't done them, but I will be starting them again. Also, on there, you see my link to my new Instagram account. Unfortunately, I had 9,500 followers, and the account got chucked because I got the account taken away because I posted an elbow that was done on Brian Gill
And it was copywritten footage. Yeah.
Yeah, copywritten footage. I just didn't think it was just that short 3-second clip, and I peeled and they wouldn't give me my account back. So I've gone from 9,500 to 49. So I've got to start the links in there, but give us a follow, and thanks for having me on, Sean, as always, mate.
No, thanks, Johnny. You absolute legend. Hopefully we can get back to doing Devil's Advocate properly next week. Dave will be back. Dave was sick today, guys. If Johnny's link is also in the description of the video. I want to say massive thank you to everyone that stopped by. Hit the like and the subscribe. Shout out to Henry for the redirect. Shout out to the super chat army. Who was that? That was Drewzilla, Just a Harness Potato, KM, a user, Martin Knightsbridge, Mile High Hotspur, Nige with the new membership, and in a coma. Really appreciate you all, guys. We're gonna leave it there, and we will see you tomorrow. Hopefully, Bugsy's back, so I can get back to my walk and talks. But if not, maybe I'll do both. I don't know. Maybe I'll do both. Like on the way out. Cheers, guys. As always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.